Welcome to my kitchen. Hope you're all well. Today's video is going to be featuring some canning and pickling. It's a slight variation on what you can do with your tomatoes to my previous canning video. Please feel free to check that one out. That's making a pasta sauce. Today it's more of a base passata, and also we're going to be pickling gherkins and talking about beetroot. So stay tuned and hope you enjoy. In my previous canning videos, I showed a method whereby we just chop the tomatoes, put them through the blender, and then cooked them down. This is just a slightly different method that I thought I'd share with you. So I've washed the tomatoes. I've got a nice big baking tin here. Again, I'm just going to roughly chop these with the skin, all the pips, and the plan is to, with some onions and garlic, I'm going to be roasting them for just about an hour, 10 minutes, something like that. And then we're going to run them through a food mill. Now, if you haven't got a food mill, you could use a sieve or even a colander, I guess, with a spoon. But it's just a different method. So I'm going to crack on and chop all these, or some onion, pepper, and then we'll add some seasoning, and then it's going to go into the oven. At this point, all I've got in my baking tin is the tomatoes, some peppers and onion. I don't worry about quantities. I just put in the tomatoes that I harvested today. I put in one large onion and a few peppers that I have. The reason being is this is what I sort of call my base sauce, like a passata. So when I do actually make this into a meal, I can obviously add more flavouring if I feel at the time. I am going to put some olive oil into this, and then I'm going to roast it in the oven for about an hour. You're going to notice that it reduces down quite a bit. You're just looking for it to look really quite mushy, because you are going to be putting it through a food mill. The temperature in the oven is 200. It's a fan oven. So whilst I've got the oven on, I'm also going to roast the beetroots that I harvested earlier in the week. Now these are going to need a good wash. I will wrap them in foil, put them in a tin, and again they're going to take an hour. You can alternatively cook these in the air fryer. To be honest, I normally prefer to cook them in the air fryer because they don't smell quite so much, but it does seem more economical with the oven on. I may as well roast these at the same time. The tomatoes have been in now nearly 40 minutes. You can see all the juices have now come out and they're cooking down beautifully. I'm still going to put them back in for a little bit longer because I can feel that some fairly firm. The onion needs a bit longer as well. So yeah, probably about 15 minutes. And then it'll be ready to come out. If you haven't seen a food mill before, it's effectively a saucepan with a hole in the bottom, which is for your different grade of meals. So you've got a fine, medium, and of course. So I'm going to use the medium one, and that pops into the base. It aligns with some little tiny grooves in there. You then have a paddle with your handle, and this is what you're going to be turning, which is going to grind the food down, and then you're going to be collecting everything that comes out of the bottom, which is going to be your sauce. So then this will, see if I can make sure you're in shot there. So first of all, that clips into the bottom like so, and then you're going to be pushing that one under that handle so it clicks into there, and then you turn it around, and with a little bit of force you're going to be pushing this one down and it comes up there. So then that is your food mill. So the tomato mix has now had about an hour in the oven. It has all gone nice and soft. I'm going to start spooning it into the full food mill. I've placed a bowl underneath to catch everything. So some spoonfuls go into here, including the liquid, because that's obviously all the lovely tomato juices that have come out. So you then start turning clockwise, and this is mashing it down into the bowl below. If you go anti-clockwise, you pick up any of the residue that's there, and then you can squeeze that through again. So some people might find this a laborious task. I actually really enjoy this. I find it quite therapeutic. So you're going to keep adding, and keep a check on your bowl underneath, and you'll see there you've got a nice sort of medium grade sauce coming through. The sauce consistency is really nice. It is like a passata. You could at this stage, well actually at the stage before you mill, you could add some herbs, but because this is my base sauce, it's not like my finished product pasta sauce. This is just something that I can add to all different dishes. I prefer to flavour it when I'm cooking. So I'm going to start jarring it up now. And I'm very much hoping that I've got enough here to do about 4 jars possibly. 5 would be nice. And I'm just going to make sure that I fill just about there, the neck of the jar. You can get a special measure. I eyeball it. You can in the States. The States have got so much better canning stuff than we have available. You can get an actual funnel, that's the word, that has the headspace measurements at the bottom. So that's on my wish list. They haven't arrived here in the UK, or if they have, I certainly can't find them online. So 5 jars are done. Popped the lids on, and then just going to put the rings, and you're going to tighten them just finger tight, and then they're going to go into the saucepan to steam. So what is left in the food mill is just some skins, very little left from that whole baking tray of tomatoes. I'm pleased to report that I have got a much better rack in the bottom of my canning saucepan. So this is just a cake cooling rack and it fits perfectly. Sorry about the noise, but yeah, it does actually fit perfectly. You may have seen in my previous canning video I had two sort of trivets that weren't the best. So this was a good cheap compromise because I haven't got a proper canning saucepan that has like the fancy holder for your jars, but this is working fine. Because the contents of the jar is hot, they've gone into hot water. I'm just going to top it up a little bit. I take the water up to the product line, so I don't fully submerge my jars. There's all different methods on the internet, and this is the one that works for us. So we want to keep this on a boil, and I'm going to pop the lid on, and it's going to be like that for 30 minutes. 30 minutes later, I'm going to grab them out of the saucepan, pop them on the tray to cool, and what we're hoping for is that popping sound so that it creates the vacuum the lids are going to seal. Any that you discover are not sealed, then pop in the fridge, use up as quick as you can, within the next day or two. But the rest is good to store away. And thank you so much to the people that commented of a way to eliminate the hard water deposits on both the saucepan and the jars is to add some white vinegar to the water. I've done that. So yeah, it hadn't occurred to me, and that is a brilliant tip, so thank you very much. Because I'm gonna have to, my kitchen's so small, I'm gonna have to bend down so that you can see me. You're in the farthest corner, but the kitchen is small. Because I'm doing a bit of a marathon preserving pickling afternoon, the next thing on the list is the cornichon gherkins. These have been in a bowl with just salt over the top to draw out the liquid, and I've had them in a bowl for it must be 24 hours now. I do halfway through rinse and add another layer of salt just so that I can get the maximum amount of liquid out of those. You can see that there is quite a bit, so I'm going to rinse those again now, and then it's a case of slicing, placing into jars and pickling. The jars are already clean. They've gone through the dishwasher a couple of times. I do just choose to pour some boiling water inside and over them as just an extra measure, and then also over the lid. You're going to be putting this into a pickling vinegar. One of your making maybe. A vinegar is going to be so strong that it's really going to eradicate any harmful bacteria. So a previous one where I chose to cut the gherkins differently. Here's a jar like this here, so they're really nice if you are adding to sandwiches, burgers. My last preserving job of the day is the beetroots. They've come out of the oven, and I've featured pickling beetroots in a previous video, so I'll include that here. And then if something you're interested in, then please pop back and have a look at that one. Thank you very much for joining me in my kitchen this afternoon for a bit of a preserving and pickling marathon. Until next time, make sure you take care now.